Alright, hey guys, welcome to another Deck Tech episode number 2 featuring blue-white allies. Now this is out there for you budget players that can't really afford Jace the Mind Sculptor and Primeval Titan, etc, etc. Well, this deck is definitely for you. First off, this deck does play blue and does not play Jace the Mind Sculptor. I do have them. I would probably put them in this deck actually, just because it's insane. But this deck does not need it. Alright, let's go through the deck list. Now we do have our land base here with plains, islands, and then I play 4 glacials and 4 sea chromes. You can tell they're in a different sleeve, but these are from a different deck, just because I don't want to get additional duels. I just swap them in between decks. So yeah, this is pretty much a land base. Next up we go to our 1-drops. We see 4 Hada Free Blades, which should be rather self-explanatory. And here's a pretty new addition. We have 4 Spell Pierces. Now, this card, my friend who plays Mono White Allies has been pretty much just complaining to me all the time about how Jace the Mind Sculptor is so stupid, how I can beat any decks, they don't play Day of Judgment, etc, etc. Well, here's your 1-mana answer. Spell Pierce. This is pretty much to him, stop whining, okay? This card is sick. I don't think they suspect you playing Spell Pierce main board, and that's what gets them off surprise. Like, okay, this deck is a bit useless against certain this card is a bit useless against certain decks, but man, if this stops their Day of Judgment, their Jace the Mind Sculptor, their Gideon Jura, their Elspeth Tyrell, etc, etc, Spell Pierce is just such a good card right now in the meta, and I think it should be heavily considered as a 4-of. I play it as a 4-of in the deck, because it's just such a beating. Next we have 4 Cassandra Blade Masters, arguably one of the best 2-drops I think in the game. Severely underlooked due to the fact that it is an ally, and everybody just thinks allies suck. He has a 2-mana 2/2 with First Strike and Vigilance. Yeah, an absolute beat stick that's not really being considered. Next, we have 4 Jwari Shapeshifters, pretty self-explanatory. Hard to see under these Journey to Nowheres. Now, a lot of people say, not a lot of people, more like, in my mind, I'm thinking these journeys, you should not be really worrying about their creatures, because your creatures just tend to get fat, and fatter. These journeys are primarily here for, I think Titans, I guess, would be a good answer. I don't know, I just think despite how good this deck is, with, like, dealing with just having the better creatures, the bigger creatures, actually that'd be better, bigger creatures, I still think you need removal here, so these 2 journeys are like your plan B. Next up, we have 4 Ondu Clerics, to finish off the 2-drops. Some people play Decide. These are definitely, I think, main board material. These guys gain you just insane amounts of life, especially with our 4-drop there. Yeah, he's pretty ridiculous, and you guys should definitely play him. Next, we have 3 Cabrera Evangels, starting off our 3-drops. Good. Giving cards protection on your turn, meh, but good. I think this guy is pretty sick, and technically gives you an Alpha Strike, if they are monocolored. Next, we have Umar Raptors. Pretty underlooked, 3-mana 2/2 flyer. Put him in because he beats Squadron Hawk, pretty much. They have to have the Sword of Body in mind, which is not being played as much as Feast and Famine, despite them both being in the deck list. But they will often search for Feast and Famine first. So having Umar Raptor out there is nice. Gets big, he's a 3-mana 2/2 with evasion that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So I think he's not really, he's kind of overlooked a bit, so yeah, that's why we've got him over there to help us out. Here's our 4-drop Taos Paladin, pretty sick. That's not really much else to say. This guy's just beating. And there's 1 join the ranks. The reason I don't play 3 to 4 is just cause there's better cards, and even though you get 2 triggers off, it's not as great as I thought it was. I'd rather play just straight up allies, in my opinion. But yeah, you can play around with them, maybe take out a non-duke cleric or so to add a second, but it's up to you. I don't like it as much, so I'm keeping it as a one of, whereas I might just take it out for another card or so. Next we go to our fatties, or more like high mana costs. There we have Venser. Venser is in there because he gives your guys endless triggers. I think the problem with allies, A, is that they're vulnerable to board sweep, which is why we have that. But they kind of run out. You know, if you're not playing an ally every turn and getting their triggers, it's kind of like, I don't want to say a waste, but the deck needs to have triggers every turn. Like, it just needs it to actually get there, you know? That's why we have Venser. You just take the weakest guy, or the guy that doesn't get +1/+1 counters, which would probably be Ondu Cleric, or just smallest, and you just trigger. He also does the same thing as Cabrera Evangel, and gives you Alpha Strike, and if you want to get real stupid, you can do his -8. Next up, we have a pretty forgotten ally. We have Seagate Loremaster. This guy is sick, because not only does he also trigger you guys, he gives you card advantage, which is kind of rare. That's why I don't play 4 Preordains, because this guy, is pretty insane. Even if you only have 2 to 3, allies on the field, excluding him or including him, whichever, you know, you're drawing 3 cards off this guy, and chances are you're probably gonna draw into some more gas, which is pretty sick. Yeah. So, he definitely deserves a spot. Last, we have Sun Titan, because this guy brings back more than half our deck, which is pretty ridiculous. It would be a bit hard to find the 6 mana, as we play a total of 22 lands, I believe. But yes, Sun Titan, is pretty insane. Like I said, he brings back more than half our deck. And if he's not dealt with straight away, it will get ridiculous, because all of our guys are just gonna start triggering each other, and it's gonna get stronger and stronger. Biggest card I am not playing in this deck, would be a Johnny Goldmane, because a Johnny Goldmane makes all your guys fatter. Reason A, I'm not playing him is because I do not have him with me at the moment, and reason B is because, you know what, no. I don't have a good reason not to play Johnny Goldmane, to be honest. I think I would take out the Join the Ranks, because essentially, Join the Ranks just, triggers twice, whereas the Johnny Goldmane just keeps triggering, essentially giving all the +1/+1 counters. And I'd probably might take out a Cleric. But yeah, I think 2 of a Johnny Goldmanes would be something that would be in your interest. I try to keep it a bit more budget friendly, you know? Whereas Johnny Goldmane, you don't really need him. Although making his lifelink avatar might just sentence the game. Then again, tokens are pretty vulnerable because Jace just bounces them. But yeah, you should have enough creatures to overrun Jace, I think. So yeah, that was just a quick overview of my ally deck. I do not have a sideboard because it's more of a fun deck that I just asked if they have a fun deck and they want to play. Probably will try it out in an FNM. But yeah, this is definitely for budget players out there that don't want to like play competitively but don't want to get wrecked all the time when they go to FNM. It's really cheap. I mean, the most expensive thing here is Venser, and Venser's gone down quite a bit. And so you shouldn't have too much of a problem getting him. Other things, really nothing. All these rares are like $1 to $2 at most. Yeah, Sun Titan's not as much. He is considered the weakest of the Titans, despite the fact that he is still amazing, which just tells you how strong the Titans are. So yeah, you've got this. I've heard some variants with green in them, as Hairbaz Druid is considered to be amazing, alongside some other green allies, but for now, this will be the deck. Mainly because with green, your mana fixing gets hard unless you have Misty Rainforests and the white-green duels. And I wanted to keep it budget friendly, so doing this makes it really easy on the money for mana base. And yeah, So this is just a quick overview of my blue-white ally deck. If you guys like to know the deck list, it is in the description. So once again, give a shout out. Tell me if you like these deck techs. I'll release 2. So yeah, rate, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys see my next videos.